Hello and welcome everyone to this episode of Scott Schilling Speaks. I thought I'd do something a little bit different today because I was looking through some information, had to call a friend and wanted to get them something that, I don't know, was just sticking in my mind. And all of a sudden I thought of the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I realized that, in fact, man, I haven't referred to it in a long time, but the lessons involved in how to win friends and influence people are still good today. Now, this book was written and originally published in October of 1936. That's almost 100 years old. And yet the concepts that I'm going to share here today from them still play today. There's over 30 million copies of this book sold. So there's some pretty genius stuff in here from Dale Carnegie. And I just wanted to share to the best of my ability and really get you this information because, like I said, it popped up in my mind as being valuable. And hopefully it touches you a little bit as well. So let's get started, because this is really about building personal relationships. And for any of you that know me personally, understand that that's my foundation, is building personal relationships and then working to do everything I can to nurture those relationships as they go along. So what does Carnegie recommend when it comes to this? Well, he says, never criticize, condemn, or complain. Isn't that good sound judgment, especially in the day we live in today? I mean, we're so divided as for so many people over so many things right now. What about allowing people to make their decisions based on the knowledge they have and not criticize or condemn or complain, but work to understand? See, criticism won't be welcomed. It just isn't. Nobody likes to be criticized, and criticism also often makes the other side defensive or resentful. And if they're defensive and resentful, they're probably not going to listen very well to your position, no matter how good your position is. Positive reinforcement works the best. It always has, and quite frankly, still does. So just think if we were, I don't know, a little more positive with each other or listen to each other and why another person made the decision they made, as opposed to jumping all over a particular position. The next part is to become genuinely interested in other people. I mean, quite frankly, what a great opportunity we have today to do exactly that, is become genuinely interested in who they are, what they do, why they're doing it, maybe a little bit of what they've been through. It's been a very unique year and a half, to say the least. Now even dragging on to be more of that. And who knows? I mean, I hope it's not the case, but it looks like we're heading back to some more lockdowns and some things that are even tougher once again. Be interested, not interesting to people, right? See what you can do. Because quite frankly, most people are interested in themselves, their stories, their life, what they're going through. And you can certainly listen and learn. And when you do that, so I encourage you, remember people's birthdays and other important details. Last week or the week before, I had Adrian Chenault on, the CEO and co-founder of Contact Mapping. Well, what's contact mapping all about? It's about recording those important special events in people's lives, or the last time you talked to them, so you can continue the next conversation as if the first one never stopped. Pretty amazing. These still hold true today. Talk in terms of other people's interests. It's about what is in it for them. Walk a mile in their shoes. Understand where they are. Absolutely amazing that these possibilities still exist today, and find their interested and in their interests and talk about those things to them and with them. Again, people want you to come into their world. And when you talk about their interest in the things going on in their lives, they will welcome you into their lives. It's a great way to learn how to deal with people. If you don't know their interest, just ask intelligent questions. What's new and exciting in your world? What's happening with you these days? How is your business doing, and what are you doing to make it even better? Just an example of some intelligent questions to learn about what's going on. None of these things are difficult per se, but they are extremely valuable. Learn to become a good listener. That's right. How do you become a good listener? Well, the good Lord's blessed you. He's given you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Close your mouth, open your ears, and listen without preparing your next response. It's okay that there's a gap in between and that there's a little bit of silence. That's okay. You can prepare what you're going to say later on. Give your exclusive attention to others. Don't be looking over their shoulders past them. Or if you're on a webinar situation or a meeting situation, look to the person speaking, not at all the other boxes that are around you. Again, these are almost 100-year-old suggestions, and they're still applicable today. Urge others to talk about themselves and ask pointed questions about them. Why do you want to do that? Well, because number one, they get to hear about their favorite person themselves. I mean, that is the truth. People love to hear themselves speak. So give them that opportunity. But ask the questions that help you gain the information you need for the reason that you're bringing this all out. Ultimately, it's about making the other person feel important. That's never changed. If you can help somebody else feel important, it's amazing what will happen in your relationship with them. People yearn to feel important and be appreciated. Talked about this not long ago with Les Giblin's work on approval and acceptance and appreciation. People yearn to feel important. They want you to, share with them why you believe this relationship is important and that they're appreciated. And sometimes it's as easy as saying, you know what? I appreciate you. You know why you say that? Because you do. You do appreciate them. You appreciate them for being there with you at a time to serve it, you and them. Praise their strengths and strive to reinforce their opinions. People want to know that you're on their side, that you hear what they're saying, you believe what they're saying, and you want to reinforce what they're saying. That's how you create friendships. And then with friendships, you have influence on those people for all the right reasons. Again, not hard to get there. Use their name whenever possible because their name is their most prized possession. Their mama and daddy gave them their name. It's really important. And whatever you do, don't use the wrong name. If you don't remember their name, just be pleasant and ask them kindly, could you repeat your name? How do you spell that? Help me remember that. Because I know it's important to you, I want it to be important to me as well. Oh, and then you can throw a smile because a smile costs absolutely nothing. And it can go such a far way to moving you forward with them and their experience. Smile. It's free. You automatically change 2 lives, yours and theirs. What a great thing to do. Even if you're on the phone, it comes through. Greet others with smiles and enthusiasm. That's right. Be happy Be somebody they want to be around, that they want to see, that they want to learn from. It's not that hard to do, to smile and have great enthusiasm. Enthusiasm comes from the word entheos, of God's Spirit. So be enthusiastic as you're talking to people. It's absolutely amazing what it can do, what you can learn. Be enthusiastic. Smile whenever you can. It's pretty simple, actually. And smiling comes through, like I said, even if you're on the phone. A lot of times when I'm coaching, actually stand. You'll see my arms flailing away. You'll see me standing. Well, number one, it opens your diaphragm so you have more air. But the other side is it allows that smile to come through on the phone. Whenever you're selling your ideas, avoid arguments, because you can only lose. Even winning loses. See, if you're presenting your ideas, which is quite frankly what selling your ideas is, you only lose if you get into a disagreement. Hear people out, hear their side, hear what they're saying. Just don't argue about it. It gets you nowhere. You can only lose. Argue is defend and embrace the previous position. The point is, if somebody doesn't agree with you, that's fine. They may have a difference of opinion. They may have heard a different point of view. They may have learned something differently than you have. Again, hear them out, understand their position. You don't have to accept it, but don't argue it either. It's not going to get you anywhere. Winning will hurt the loser's pride and build resentment. So you lose when you win. What good does that do you? It doesn't move your situation forward. It's not about being right all the time. You can be right or you can be happy. Chances are you can't be both. You don't have to be right all the time. Understand, take that piece of information, say, I agree to disagree right now, and that's okay for both of you. Then go back after that conversation and check out the information. They might actually be doing you a favor and teaching you something that you need to know that you don't know right now. So the guide to avoiding arguments: welcome the disagreement. Be thankful for a new opinion. Be thankful for a piece of knowledge that you may not own at that time, that now gives you a new understanding and a place where you can move from going forward. Stay calm. Listen first. Hear them out. Again, don't bow up. It's not going to do you any good anyway. You may have to go check out that piece of information. You may say something simply like, hey, I've never heard it put that way before, or I never knew of that position before. But I want to thank you for calling it to my attention. I'm certainly going to go check it out after our conversation is done. See, that shows respectfulness. It shows your ability to learn. They might be right. You don't know. Is it possible you don't know what you don't know? Is it possible they know what you don't know? Is it plausible? Go back, find out. This is about winning friends and influencing people. Identify the areas of agreement that you do have. Say, you know what? I don't know that I agree 100% with everything you've said here today, but the good news is the vast majority of what we've talked about, I do agree with. And I think we can create some common ground where we can move forward. Do you agree? You do. That's awesome. See, you're still making, even though there's a disagreement, you're still making ground up in this possibility. Admitting errors make it easier for others to also admit theirs. if you learn something that's truly new to you and you realize that in what you've shared, there may be an error, if you say, you know what, I didn't know that before. Thank you for calling that to my attention. I appreciate you caring enough to bring that up. Then somewhere down the road, it also gives them the opportunity to say, you know what, made a mistake. I'm really sorry. I love the way that you and I can have an open discussion about these topics. And when you do have that open discussion, it's amazing how often you win friends and influence people. See, Carnegie had this all along. So continuing to avoid those arguments. If no resolution is found, postpone the action. Promise to explore that opposing perspective and come back and address it at another time. A heated discussion doesn't move you forward. Being respectful, honoring the other person's position, giving them the dignity they are due. That's really my platform, is to return respect, honor, and dignity to the planet. So if no resolution can be found right there, just postpone it. Say, you know what? I would love to check this out and make sure that what I'm stating is accurate. You've called something to my attention that makes me question my answer. Let me go back and verify and validate. And once I do that, we can reconvene. Does that work for you? I have almost never had anybody said that that doesn't work for them. Again, when you treat people with respect, you show them the honor that's due, and you give them the dignity they've earned, it's absolutely amazing what happens. Always begin in a friendly way. And quite frankly, stay in that friendly way if you can. It's okay to be good to people. Open conversation with sincere praise, appreciation, sympathy, or even empathy. Might be one or the other. Understand the difference between the two. This is all about how to win friends and influence people. A friendly tone will allow others to broach discussions more openly. Broach. That sounds like a 1936 word, doesn't it? The reality is, have fun doing what you're doing. I love doing what I'm doing here. I want to share this information with you so you can love doing what you're doing as well. A friendly tone helps open those conversations more openly. Let the other person do a great deal of talking. Don't be the one that does all the talking here. Now, in this setting today, the way this is structured, I'm going to do the talking. Well, hopefully that's okay with you, that there are some good positive nuggets that are being delivered here to help you down the road. Eagerly listen to the current concerns that diffuse tension and build relationships. Remember what this all started with. This is about building relationships. These are the little tricks of the trade and little techniques that will help you move along, especially if your mindset is in a better situation. Others need to finish spilling their ideas before they can listen to you. So many times I'll ask somebody else, what's new and exciting? And they'll say, not much. What's going on with you? Say, you know what? I got a lot of things going on, but I really want to hear from you first. Share what's new and exciting in your world. I want to make sure that I hear what's going on with and for you. See, this positioning allows, again, for kindness, for honor, for dignity, for respect. Be empathetic. Most people are hungry for empathy. They just want to be heard. They want you to feel like, I'm hearing you, brother. Lay it on me. I don't have to be sympathetic, but if I can be empathetic, I hear what's going on. I empathize with you. Wow. Amazing that these things are happening in your life and you're doing so well. Just an example of being empathetic. But be real, be authentic. Don't try to just position yourself. Truly like people. If you don't like people, you're probably in the wrong business. Tell them I feel the same way under those circumstances. You know why you say that? Because you probably would. If you can feel what they're feeling, it now brings your bond closer going forward. Respect others' opinions. Never say you're wrong. They're entitled to their opinion. Say, you know what? Can we agree to disagree? That's fine. But it's not saying they're wrong. They're entitled to their opinion the way they've learned it and from the sources they've learned it from. If you want to understand their opinion, ask them what their sources are. Where did you hear that? Where did you read that? How did you come to that conclusion? Those are respectful ways of respecting their opinion. It's their opinion. It's okay. People don't like to admit that they're wrong. And quite frankly, they may take it personally. If you accuse them of something or point the finger at them, it's really not the way to do it. You know, I've been wrong. You've been wrong. We've all been wrong at some time. We probably don't jump up and down and say, I was wrong. We don't necessarily like it. But the fact is, sometimes if somebody comes at us really hard with our position being wrong, we get defensive, not because we realize that we're in the right. We just don't like taking the hit. Well, if you don't like it, they don't like it either. Now, if you're wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. You know, when people have come with different arguments or cited a better source or helped me realize that I had an incorrect piece of information, I admit it. I'm sorry. I was wrong. To the best of my knowledge, I thought I was right. But with the new information you're showing me, I'm wrong. And say it emphatically so that they gain value from that. Demonstrate your willingness to rationally examine the facts. You know, 100% of the time, each one of us has been wrong at some time. And so be willing to examine the facts closer. If you have better information, I'm willing to accept it. From the information I have, this is what I know to be true. That's all you can do. Or from my frame of reference, this is what I know to be true. Understand, it's from my frame of reference, from what I have studied to date. This is what I know to be true. It's only after time passes. The reality is we all get smarter as time passes and information becomes available. We've all said things that are incorrect. We don't try to necessarily. We don't attempt to do that. We want to portray the very best and most honest, authentic response possible. Every once in a while, something is not correct. Be a good human being. Accept that possibility. Admitting errors clears guilt, and everyone can move forward quickly when you do it. Once again, if somebody proves your statement to be inaccurate, own it and own it quickly, because admitting errors will move things forward. This is about how do you create lifelong friendships and relationships? How do you win those friends? How do you influence people? It's by being authentic. It's by being truthful. It's by being a stand-up person. All of those things are possible, even if you misspoke. Just try not to misspeak. I don't know anybody who purposely says the wrong thing. It's just the way it works. Try honestly to see things from another person's point of view. Is it possible that you can walk a mile in their shoes, that you can get in their shoes that you can find an opportunity to examine their point of view and make a different statement from that place. If you can, you've done good. This is how you strengthen those relationships. Another person's perspective and motivation is key to understanding their decisions, their agenda, and their personality. See, if we can respect somebody else's point of view, if we can understand their motivation, why they're doing what they're doing. We're going through some very difficult times right now with this pandemic worldwide. If we can understand why somebody may do what they do or say what they say because of the motivation that's going on around them, we can understand that better. We can become closer to them going forward. I encourage you to do that. Frame request in terms of what others are finding motivating. In other words, as you speak to them, speak in their language based on their situation, what you can know about them and what you can learn about them. Why would someone want to do what I'm asking? Based on their frame of reference, what's going on in their world, what they're experiencing on a day-to-day basis. That's framing your request in terms of their situation. You know, this information has been around for many, many years, tremendous number of years, almost 100 years. And yet just reviewing this today, I can tell you, just by going through this piece of information myself and sharing my thoughts on it, have opened my mind to want to be as open as I can possibly be for you listening or for those that will hear this through the ripple effect. Please feel free to share this broadcast with others to help them learn how to win friends and influence people. I'm Scott Schilling. This is Scott Schilling Speaks. If I can ever be of service to you, please reach out. Scott@scottschilling.com. I don't try to hide. I'm here to be of service to you and those that need the service that I provide. I coach, I speak, I train, and I write about topics that help others live their life fully. Thank you for joining me here today. God bless, and have a fabulous rest of the day. See you soon.